Hello YouTube, the Dr. Movies here, back again, this time with another review, this time before The Hobbit, the Battle of the Five Armies. Yes, the final Hobbit is here. It's kind of sad actually because this is it, it's done, the trilogy is done, the prequel trilogy is officially over, folks. Peter Jackson is done, no more, maybe, who knows, maybe more, I don't know, but honestly this movie is very different than what I thought. I mean, when I first heard this movie was coming out, it was my most anticipated movie for this year because what happened in the decimation of Smaug left us with a little bit of gasp. Because if you know the decimation of Smaug, basically Smaug is basically the dragon. He flew into the town, and Bobo and the hobbits and they all were like, "Oh my God, we just set a dragon into this poor town. Now they have to go stop it." Now, and this movie is basically focused more on Thorin Oakenshaw. Basically, he's the head dwarf, basically, and Bobo, he was in this movie too, but kind of not focus him as much as that it was supposed to. I mean, basically, in this movie, basically what happened is Thorin, he wants his kingdom back. He wants the mountain back, and something happens to him. He gets some little bit, how can I put it? Not very wise of what his actions are. He does some things that he's, the other dwarves and Bobo, they're not liking, and then things happen. You have the elves, the orcs, they all come in and they all want to get that part of there's basically gold in there, and they want that gold, and they want to take control of the mountaintop, and they have a battle. I'm talking about a battle. I haven't seen a battle this good since The Lord of the Rings: Return of the King, and that is still number one. However, this movie is very good. I like this movie a lot. But, of course, there are some points in this movie I felt, I'm watching this movie, I'm like, okay, what happened? Because the other two movies, they were so good and solid. They keep the story good going, get you entertained at what the movie is and the story, how it leads into this one. And this one, it kind of did that, and then it kind of just landed flat. I mean, I found it weird a little bit. And I like the Lord of the Rings. Those movies are perfect. Those movies are great movies. And I find the first two Hobbit movies awesome. And, the story did not drag at all. I mean, this did not drag easy as much, but it just felt weird. I mean, okay, let's talk about the bad things in this movie. I mean, Smaug, basically the dragon, he wasn't in as much. And I'm like, okay, he does his thing and then he's gone? I'm like, huh? Okay, wait a minute, wait. You set this up to basically him be the next bad guy for the next one, and then he's only in certain scenes, and then he's done? And then I'm like, no, I know, it's supposed to be the Battle of the Five Armies, and I know all the dwarves, the elves, the orcs, they're all going to do battle, I get that, but come on, at least have him in the movie more than he's supposed to be. And Benjamin Cumberbatch, he does the voice, and he's great, of course, but come on, I want him more in the movie. That's one of the problems in the movie, but there are a couple other ones. The CGI was like kind of off to me. I was like looking in my mind, I'm like, okay, the CGI was better in the second one. Even the first one was better. I don't know, I mean, I found it like kind of sloppy a little bit in certain angles, I mean, if you don't have an eye for that, you're not going to be able to notice it, but it doesn't really matter. It doesn't really take you too out of the movie. But if you're a really serious film fan, you're going to find problems with that. I mean, like, there were some angles in this movie where I'm like, okay, that's just getting too weird for me. But honestly, I still like this movie for what it was. Is it the weakest of the three? Yes, it is. But is it still good? Hell yeah, it is. But, the story of, Thorin, he was great in the movie. Legolas, who's played by Orlando Bloom, he was great in this, of course. Bobo was fantastic, even though his role was smaller. And a little spoiler here, just a small little spoiler, not a big deal. Smeagol was in this movie. I'm like, okay, you don't have Smeagol. I mean, I get he's not supposed to be in the whole movie, but whatever. But there's a mention of him. He wasn't even he didn't even exist. I'm like, okay, weird. But you know what, I can let that go because he's in the other ones anyway. However, this movie is still good because It's the prequel. It's not like Star Wars where you watch Star Wars and like, what the prequels of Star Wars and we're like, where is this going? Like I don't understand this because if you go back and watch those movies and you're like, okay, let me go back and watch the Star Wars. 4, 5, 6. Those are Star Wars and 7 is coming out soon next year. Go see the trailer. And yeah, this does not affect the other movies at all. This is its own movies and it sets up good to the Lord of the Rings basically. Of course, Lord of the Rings is great. Two Towers, even better. And The Return of the King is basically one of the most recognizable achievements of cinema history. Is the king of the Oscars because it has 11 Oscars. It won 11 Oscars. That's still #1 and it hasn't been defeated at all. No other movie can top that. I'm sorry. But if I had to really label these movies, I would put Return of the King, of course, is #1. Two Towers would be 2. Then it would be the first one, The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring. Then I would go to The Hobbit 2, The Decimation of Smaug. Then I would do the Hobbit, The Journey, The Unforgivable Journey. And then, of course, the third one, which would be The Battle of the Five Armies. That's how I would put it. But you know what? I still enjoyed this movie for what it was. It was good. I'm glad it came out because I wanted to. This is my most #1 movie of the 2014. Did it disappoint me a little bit? Yeah, a little bit, but not as much. Maybe like a 20% drop of my most anticipated thing. But I was so super excited, and I went into it, and I'm like, it was still good. I can ignore the minor part. I mean, would I see it again in theaters? No. But I know I'm going to buy it on Blu-ray when it comes out. Of course, I can have all of them. But I'll watch it again. And I'll still poke at the parts that were messed up in the movie. But, it's not that bad. It's not like if you're watching the prequels of Star Wars. But that's another video for next time. Yeah, like I said, I enjoy this. If you watch all the prequels of this, you will not get lost. You have to watch it in order first. You watch the Unexpected Journey, which is the first one. Then you watch The Decimation of Smaug, and then you go watch The Battle of the Five Armies. Then you watch The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, then The Two Towers, and then the third, Return of the King. Then you understand how Middle-earth basically is. And I love Middle-earth, and it was so awesome to go back into it again. Peter Jackson did a phenomenal job. He wasn't even supposed to direct his movies at all. He was just going to be a producer. But something happened with Guillermo del Toro, who was supposed to do it, because he wanted to go do Pacific Rim, and then, you know what? I'm glad he did it anyway, because I think seeing somebody else do this, I don't know how the movies would have turned out, because he was basically the man who brought us the Return of the King. The king of the Oscars, basically, is basically on a pedestal, because it has 11 Oscars. Every category it was nominated for, it won, so there's that. And, yeah, I couldn't not imagine anybody else directing it, but I'm glad he didn't. I'm glad that he finished it. Would he come back to maybe making more? Because I know there's another book out there, but people say it's an impossible book to do, but I don't know. I don't know about that, but who knows? Maybe a couple years down the road, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Maybe we'll visit Middle-earth again. It's such a great place. It's been, they shoot in New Zealand, so it's a great place. Kind of interesting. I want to go to New Zealand one of these days. And yeah, I thoroughly enjoyed it. All the movies leading up to this had 9s, but I'm gonna have to give this movie an 8 because for what the parts did not work for me in this movie. I was so disappointed about that. I wanted to have all 3 of them 9s, but I can't give it to it because of these little things. Small, like I said, small things, but they're still things. If I give it a 9, it's going to say, oh, I'm just lying. But no, I'm giving it an 8. It's a great movie, but it has its problems. Yeah, and that's all I can say about this movie. I love it a lot. Lord of the Rings and The Hobbits are now part of me now. Sorry about that. And, yeah, I just feel that if you like Middle-earth and, epic battles and all that stuff, you're going to enjoy this movie. If you don't, then I wouldn't recommend it. Go see something else. This is a very long movie, too. More like almost 3 hours. But, yeah, it was so worth it watching it. But like I said, it had moments where it was, like, kind of bad. But you know what? I'm not even going to worry about that anymore. I seen it. I'm glad I seen it. Now I can go back and watch The Lord of the Rings again, because I haven't seen them in a while. And maybe I'll come back and do a review about those, since I never did a review about those anyway. So let me know what you think. Do you want to see these movies? Are you interested in the movie? Did you see the other movies? Have you seen The Lord of the Rings? What do you think about those? Let me know. The Doctor's in and out. Thank you very much. And stay tuned for my review for Annie, coming up soon. Thank you and good night.